Bon, comme si il était venu mon tranchement, et puis la vie rentre moi, tourner tout le monde envers, et puis tout me décassé, pour nous décasser.
Et puis une trempe qui te prend, et puis frisson, vomissement.
On nous fait fait nous vomir, fait nous mal, fait nous trembler.
Je vais dans l'hôpital, là où elle n'est pas tellement fatiguée, je suis en train de sérum, je te dis, je vais ici pour encore arrêter. Je te dis, sérum pour me venir, je vais fatiguer comme bateau.
Parce qu'il est bon, il est décabré, il faut qu'on mort. Il dit, il faut me dire, juste mourir, c'est pas courir.
We filed a cholera case in November of 2011, which was a little bit over a year after cholera broke out. We're seeking three things. The first is we want the UN to provide the clean water necessary to stop the epidemic and also to provide health care and other treatment to people while the epidemic is still going. Second, we're asking for compensation for the victims' losses. And third, an apology. We say that cholera isn't something that isn't an epidemic that you can stop with doctors, because in many ways cholera is more of a justice issue than a medical issue. You don't get cholera unless you're poor, unless you don't have access to having clean water. Anything that can be treated and prevented with water is not really a medical issue. It's more, you just got to create the structures that allow people to have clean water. The reason why we don't have cholera epidemics in the United States is because we built municipal water systems after we got cholera. And that same kind of 19th century technology needs to be installed in Haiti.
C'est invité, parce que les clair et évident, c'est les Nations Unies qui portent le choléra en Haïti. Et ça nous-mêmes, non, comme avocat, on a dit, ça veut dire immunité, pas impunité. Et pour lui, nous avons plus que 15 000 clients. Mais les notes à porter plainte là, nous avons plus que 5 000. Et ça, c'était 3 novembre. Mais pour lui, il y a un peu de monde qui a demandé nous. Mais c'est difficile pour un bureau. Nous avons notre activité à part choléra pour continuer. Parce que nous demandons un peu de dépenses, nous demandons un peu de temps. Je pense que les Nations Unies ont des statistiques qui font. Et ça me demande mon peuple haïtien, c'est pour chercher cette filière médicale. Et nous avons des formes, nous avons des remplis pour que tout le monde est victime joigne des dommagements et bien justice et dans les Nations Unies.
We decided it was actually essential for lawyers to get involved because that was the only way that the UN was going to be required to take responsibility for its wrongdoings. You can't go into a situation that you know is vulnerable, act recklessly, and then say that the vulnerability, that your recklessness isn't at fault, it's a vulnerability. One analogy is, let's say you were, you lit a fire in a field, in a dry field when it's forest fire season and it's windy, and you light it on fire, it turns into a forest fire, and you say, oh, I was only trying to build a campfire, and when the forest burned down, it's not my fault, it's the wind's fault and the dryness' fault. That's obviously not a legal excuse. And so the UN cannot hide behind the weakness in Haiti's infrastructure that it knew about beforehand as an excuse not to take responsibility. Those knowledge of those vulnerabilities were a reason for the UN to take more care, not an excuse for not taking the adequate care.